Lagman is a dish of meat, vegetables, and hand-pulled noodles from Central Asian countries. The beef is supposed to be tender, juicy, and flavorful in lagman. If you make a stir-fried version of lagman sauce, as we are making now, choosing a tender part of a cut is a wise thing to do from the beginning. You can substitute beef with lamb, chicken, shrimp, or whatever you name it. If you are a vegetarian, just substitute the meat with your favorite vegetarian thing like dry shiitake mushrooms. You just need to soak it overnight before adding in the sauce. Marination is about tenderizing and giving the beef an extra juicy texture. If you got a filet mignon, ribeye, or any tender cut of beef, you can get away from skipping a marination stage. We have a pound of chunk, trim off tough parts and slice them against the grain. We need to mix 2 ounces of water, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, half teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, and 1 egg. Mix it well and put it in the beef with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix it well before keeping it in the fridge for at least 4 hours. To make the noodles, I'm adding in bread flour. This flour for me in the US, I use it to stay flours, different by location. All-purpose flours is my second choice. Check the protein content of the flour. If it is between 10% to 13%, you can try it, but don't try whole wheat flour whenever you use flour. For each 100 grams of flour, 65 grams of water and 2 grams of salt were used. By the way, you can count 100 grams of flour as a 1 serving. It's the basic dough to make it at all kinds of lagmon noodles. In a large bowl, I combined flour and salt. Then I gradually added water and incorporated flour mixture into the liquid until a ragged dough formed. The dough is quite firm and we can't stretch it now. Tightly wrap the dough in plastic and allow it enough time to rest. I set up the timer for 30 minutes to return to the dough in a timely manner and net it for another few minutes. I repeat this process 3 times in total. The resting and netting process makes noodle pulling much so easier. Noodles are always served super fresh when their texture is springy and chewy. So I start making the sauce with the dough is resting. I listed all the ingredients in the description below for you guys to check out. Usually we associate the stir fry with the rocket fire and the wok. It is home cooking. Get your frying pan and pot on fire or electric stove and put it 1/4 cup of oil and bring it to a smoke point. I sear the meat in small batches to maintain the heat because I am looking for a nicely browned beef. Stir fry suggested that I stir fry the meat, but browning the meat one side at a time serves my purpose more than stirring it constantly. Keep the seared beef on one side and we will finish cooking it later. Put the sliced onion in and cook it about 2 minutes. You see these brown bits of meat that stuck to the bottom of the pot. They are concentrated flavors. Scratch it and incorporate it with the onion. You can add a little liquid to make the glazing easy, but a liquid will change the frying into sauteing. So if you do it the hard way, juice from the onion and vegetables do the deglazing job too. Add half of the minced ginger and garlic. These ingredients, especially garlic, is able to give multi-flavor layers if you add it on separate occasions of the cooking process. Add Vietnamese cilantro and Napa cabbage stems. A lot of people hate cilantro. They say it tastes like a bug or a soap. I hear you, but it is a Vietnamese cilantro. and it tastes different. Skip it if you don't want to have it or you just don't like it. It is scheduling kneading time. Basically flat, fold, and knead again. Repeat it 4 to 5, 6 times and return it to the pot. Noodles and sauce go together, pun intended. Julidi daikon goes in. Keep the fire all the way up. This kind of lagman sauce is popular in Central Asia, which more resembles stew and soup. Peppers go in. What I like about peppers, besides their great taste, is that they come in different colors. The colors of food make it more appealing to the person. I wish I had yellow peppers too to add into the lagman. Put a tablespoon of tomato paste, a tablespoon of paprika. Lagman sauce is not tomato based, by the way. Pepper paste is more preferable to tomato. We can use either one. The combination of both is even better. Consider we add the diced tomatoes too. Our seared beef is in the pot again. Actually, the beef was cooked at the end of the searing process, so cooking the beef is not my main concern now. I removed the beef earlier just to give more room to fry the vegetables. But now I just want to bring all the flavors together, mix it a little bit, and add a cup of water and simmer the sauce for about 10 minutes on low. The dough is on another level. It is more smooth and plastic. Make the vegetable oil handy so you can apply the dough to prevent it from sticking. You should not use flour to keep the noodles from sticking. Flour may work against you. Flatten it to about 1 inch thickness and cut 1 inch wide strips. Pull and roll strips with your hand till it is about 1 finger wide thick. Each strip gets 2 to 3 times longer than initial cuts. You can stretch the dough as thin as a pencil or pen if you feel the dough is plastic enough. Anyway, we are going to allow the dough to rest a few more minutes. Get a lightly boiled oil and coil it your round shaped dough. Apply more oil on it, but with my initial plan was to double check the stock, the ropes, but I changed my mind. They're 10 sticks to each other. I continued to coiling on the cutting board. Make sure to put oil on the bottom and top of the dough and leave a gap between the ropes so the oil can reach there. Baby bok choy and green onion will be the most vibrant vegetables in the sauce. I poach them for about 10 to 12 seconds in boiling water to preserve their dark green color as well as the grassy flavor. I am using a big pot of boiling water with 1% of salt, which I prepared to cook the noodles. Mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, a cup of water, and add it to the sauce. Pick up the bok choy and green onion, then add them to the sauce, but don't mix it with the sauce. Add the rest of the ginger and garlic, but we aren't going to mix them either. We cook them halfway, and you can have some of the raw garlic from your plate. Turn on the fire at the lowest point and have it simmer for about 10 minutes. It is another round of stretching the same noodles. Twist and pull it so far as it goes, but be gentle. Don't break it. When you have done all the strips, start over for the finishing round. Put noodles in the rapidly boiling water. Fresh noodles don't take a long time to be cooked. When they float to the surface, the noodles are done. Give them 10 more seconds to float around, then immediately put the noodles into cold water for a few seconds. Ideally, lagmon noodles is tender, firm, chewy, and springy. Put some sauce over the noodles. Traditionally, people like to drink and add boiled noodle water to the lagman sauce. Garnish the fresh greens, chili oil, and with vinegar as you wish. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.